Keywords, content, and backlinks. Those three moves took this client from basically nowhere to ranking for tens of thousands of keyword searches per month for transactional and commercial style key phrases, and helping them as a DR31 outrank a 72, 50, 96, 86, 69, 91, 91, 86, 82, and 91 to rank on page one for a high value, highly conversion focused keyword. Let me show you exactly what I did. There were 3 steps in this project essentially, and we're continuing to work together on building up each of these 3 elements. But within step 1 for researching and mapping keywords, the 5 main principles within here are finding buyer intent keywords, building topical clusters, finding easy win gaps from a keyword perspective, find missing opportunities, which kind of relate to easy wins, and then prioritizing by ROI potential based on search volume and search intent. To give you examples and actionable items about each of these. So number 1, as I mentioned, buyer intent keywords, targeting phrases that show someone is ready to purchase or request a quote. Examples of these would be things like fiber laser metal cutting machine price, or CO2 laser cutter for sheet metal, or high precision laser cutting for aerospace parts. These are specific keywords that show buyer intent, and when you start ranking for these, it is much more likely they will convert for you. And that's the whole reason of working to optimize your website so you can rank and get traffic for keywords that actually matter for you. Now, these also will include qualifiers or additional modifiers within the keywords or phrases like price, supplier, RFQ, industry, custom, bulk, things like that. So building those out as well is something that is very likely to help you make it easier for you to rank for these key phrases too. These searches often come from plant managers or procurement teams. And the goal here again is to be found for what you want to be found for, and when a buyer is looking for what you provide. Number 2, building topical clusters. So organizing your keywords under hubs or subpages, pillars, whatever you want to call them. The main focus here is building a primary hub page for whatever your primary topic is, and then building supporting pages underneath it and strategically linking them together. And I'll talk about this in a minute when we get to the internal linking process of how this all works together and how you can provide additional value to search engines as you're working through this process. Number 3, finding easy win gaps. And for here, you would be looking for opportunities where you can likely get traction or rankings fast. And this would be where client or website is already on page 2 or 3, likely for a keyword or phrase. And generally you're going to look for mid-volume or low competition key phrases here, because in general, it's going to be easier for you to rank and improve those the fast. And then oftentimes you'll find competitor pages that are relatively thin on specs or internal linking or not very well optimized. So in that case, if you were to improve your website or your page for these key phrases, it's likely you'll improve your rankings beyond where they are. Number 4, finding missing opportunities, identifying pages that buyers expect, but the site might not have already. So these would be industry specific pages or application pages, like I've mentioned before, and or FAQ or spec sheet type pages. Now, in many cases, you can also just have FAQs on your individual content pages as well, which I'll talk about here in a second. And then prioritizing by ROI potential. You want to sort keywords by potential revenue impact, not just search volume. As an example here, a keyword like custom tube laser cutting for aerospace may not have a ton of search volume, but getting a customer for this is something that would likely be extremely valuable for you. And then lastly, focusing your early pages and link building on the highest value buyer segments first. Step 2, creating optimized content. And there are 6 essential processes within here to make sure that every page you create on your site is optimized best for the content and for the keyword or phrase you want to rank for. So this would be making sure your H1, title, description, complete topic coverage, internal linking, structured data, FAQ, and that your content is readable and scannable. I've created a number of videos on my channel about the importance of creating optimized content, and this video is no different. So the main principles for building optimized content start with the H1, title, and description of the page. And the value here and the reason for doing this is this makes it easy for search engines to understand what your content is about and what you want to be ranking for. So you want to make sure each page has a unique H1 that's keyword focused and human friendly. And then secondly, from a title perspective, write your titles with keywords and benefits in them as possible. And then a description that mentions your core offer and call to action. So you would have, again, don't necessarily need to have the exact keyword in the description, but it can help. And otherwise, you want to make sure to include some kind of call to action in there as necessary as well. Now, within your content, you also want to work on achieving complete topic coverage. And what this means basically is don't just write 300 words if there is more content to be produced about that topic. And I've talked time and time again about ways to figure out how much content you need. I've used Neuron Writer quite a bit and shown videos on that. You can look through my channel to find a number of videos about optimizing content. And a lot of times what you'll see is for a keyword or phrase, it may suggest that you have 1,000 words or 1,500 words of content based on the competitor sites that are currently ranking for the keywords you want to rank for. And in that case, it would make sense for you to have more than 300 words of content. Now, if a competitor or the average of the sites ranking on page 1 for the keyword or phrase have somewhere in the 200 to 400 words of content, then 300 words would probably suffice. And then also you want to aim to make your page the most comprehensive resource on that machine type or your whatever topic it is you're writing about. Internal linking. I've talked about this again numerous times, and the value here is this provides algorithms with an understanding of how your content is related and how pages on your site are related together. So you want to do this in a strategic manner and not just link all of your pages with all of your pages, because that creates waste and makes it more difficult for websites to be crawled. Structured data. This is extremely important now, especially with AI implementation. And what you want to do is, depending on your page type and your content type, you want to have the correct type of schema. So in some cases, it might be product. In other cases, it might be FAQ. It might be breadcrumb. It might be company type. You want to look and see what structured data type you need for the content you're creating and implement that correctly on that page. FAQ section, you can either have this individually on your site on every page, or you can create a standalone FAQ page as well. But having a section on a given page allows you to answer specific questions about that product or that service. And the other value here is not only can this help with general rankings in organic search, it can help with AI rankings, it can make your buying process easier and smoother as well. And then lastly, with content, readable and scannable content. The whole point of creating the content is so that it is easy and makes sense for somebody to consume if they want to. They don't have to. And the value of having the content on your site is that it allows you to rank easier for these keywords and phrases also. But making it so that it's easy to digest and not just a massive wall of text is going to increase your chances that somebody does potentially read it and can understand that you know what you're talking about when it comes to your products or services. Step 3, acquiring relevant backlinks. And I've color coded these based on the value of the type of link that would make sense for any site, basically. And far left would be the most important, which would be complete topical alignment. Number 2 would be page relevance. And number 3 would be anchor text relevance. To elaborate on this, step 3, acquiring relevant backlinks. Number 1, complete topical alignment. So the best links that you can get would come from a site where their overall theme matches your product or service completely. For laser cutting, as an example, a link from fabricationworld.com/lasercutting tips to your fiber laser cutting machines page would be extremely valuable because it has so much relevancy and value in a search engine's perspective that this is an extremely valuable, relevant link for you. And again, these links send both authority and the right audience if they were to be reading this individual page on this site. Number 2, page relevance. You want to make sure that the page you're getting the link from, at next case, would be relevant, even if the website is not extremely relevant. So as an example, if the website is more broad about industrial applications or something, if the page is more specific about CNC or machining or something like that, that would still be a relevant link you could get. And as a quick side note, you always want to prioritize links inside editorial content, which would be within the body or the content of a page, instead of footer or sidebar links in most cases. And then lastly would be anchor text relevance. So the anchor text should just hint at what the target page is about and not be something like click here. Now, getting links that just say click here or visit this page or something like that are not bad, and they're not going to devalue the effort from that link. But you're not getting as much value as you could if it was a descriptive anchor text link. And again, you don't always want to use the exact same anchor text for every single link on your site because that can cause issues as well. But in general, if you're working on this process, getting an anchor text link for fiber laser cutting for aluminum sheets that points to that service page is going to be something that would provide more value in most cases than getting a link like our supplier to that same page. And again, use a natural mix of partial match anchors and branded anchors to avoid over-optimization. I can talk more about this in more detail. The risks, if you're doing this incorrectly, can actually cause more damage to your website rankings than benefit if you over-optimize and create issues like this. Hopefully you got some value from that video. If you did, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate that. And I plan to continue posting more videos like this. That's it. I'll see you on the next one.